Hello everyone, welcome back to King of Games Mobile. This video is going to be about Command & Conquer Rivals. I made a couple videos about it before, but nothing recently. And the reason is because they did a lot of tweaking on it before they launched it. But now that it's launched to the general public, I want to go ahead and make a few more videos. I really like this. Well, I liked Command & Conquer, and so I just wanted to make videos on the mobile version of the game that I really loved growing up. Command & Conquer Red Alert was actually my favorite, but the regular Command & Conquer was a good game. So I've been concentrating on GDI. You can tell the score is a lot higher, 1300 rather than 1012. And the reason for that is I thought that it would be more economical to just level up GDI to the max. And then once I get a bunch of credits and stuff for that, then I can go back to the Nod side and, buy that stuff. And Nod has good units, and they're more interesting units. Like they're unconventional. Like they're more fantasy based. Whereas GDI, with the exception of the Ion Beam, is pretty much based on units that actually exist in real life. But you start with GDI, you get early GDI unlocks, and so I'm just going to keep unlocking them. But today's video is actually going to be about unit selection. So you may not have realized it, but there are basically three classes of units. There's ground, there's air, and there's infantry, vehicles, and air. So when you are going to play, a big part of this is actually your deck, right? So you really need to think about your deck before you do anything else. Because if you don't choose right here, you actually can lose before you even start. So the cheapest unit I have is the Rocket Guy. He is good against vehicles and air targets. So some people, if you watch my previous video, you've seen like the Airship Rush. It's kind of janky, but it can be effective if your opponent's not prepared for it. So the cheapest unit I have is the Missile Squad, and he's good against vehicles. The next one is strictly against infantry. He can shoot at vehicles and buildings, but he's basically useless. So if he's not shooting at infantry, you want to avoid engaging. You don't want to waste your units. The next one is a rocket or a jump jet trooper. I think they were called rocket troopers in the original Command & Conquer. I'm not 100% sure. Let's see, do I have enough money to train him? I do, but I'm not going to. So he is good against vehicles, but he can be shot by ground infantry, which seems kind of dumb. Like the flamethrower guys shouldn't be able to hit him. Right, I mean, he's basically wearing a jetpack. So if you're wearing a jetpack, I'm thinking you should be able to get out of the way of somebody with a flamethrower. Now, a rifle probably would be able to hit you, but and the shockwave troopers, I mean, their range is one tile, right? So I feel like you should be able to get high enough with a jetpack. But anyway, I mean, it's a game. It's not reality. That's just a tangential rant on my part. Okay, and then the next one is the Wolverine. It's good against air and ground. I mean air and infantry, but it can shoot ground targets. It's basically like the entry-level tech building. This is the Disruptor. I need to train it up. It's actually really good against infantry, so I'm building it. I'll explain later. And then this guy he looks like he should be anti-infantry, but he's actually an anti-vehicle, and he wrecks vehicles. Like, he does a lot of damage. So he's one that I really like to build. So the reason it's set up like this is because I can get anti-vehicle early. I also have the ability to take out infantry early, and I can attack their buildings too with the rockets. And this guy's mainly good against vehicles. If for some reason I can't get to my, the tech lab units fast enough, I can build this guy, and he does pretty well against against vehicles. Now, another thing to look at is your levels. You'll notice these things have numbers on them. Like, you have to buy upgrades, and so I've upgraded the Rifleman to level 6, but you'll notice the units I'm using, I've tried to get to level 8. Obviously, they're not all there. I don't want to spend the money to do it, so I'm just growing as fast as I can organically. But You'll notice in both sets of units, the cheap infantry units, I have everything covered, right? I can take out vehicles, infantry, or buildings, or aircraft. Same thing with the tech lab units. I can take out, this thing can take out infantry or air. This is good against infantry. This is good against air and vehicles. So I should have all my bases covered, right? I don't have any specific weakness. So let's just do a quick demonstration here. And I'm not going to go too much into strategy because I'm going to break that into different videos. Alright, so my first video I did rush strategies. I'm actually not going to do a rush here. I mean, I'm going to be fast, but it's not like a super rush. And I haven't decided if infantry is really worth it or not. They're also going rockets. So their idea is to go after my... I think they want to go after my building early, which is fine, they can. Oh, they want to go after my ore truck. Well, that's not going to work out for them. Okay, I hate that thing. It's fine though, it's just a mild irritation. I'm just gonna wait for it to die. We'll build another. Okay. And we'll go ahead and start moving them back. Now you'll notice they're using riflemen, right? The cheap units. They have more of them, but you'll notice my units are a lot better. Now I'm going to the tech lab. And see, this is that rock, paper, scissors thing I was talking about, right? Okay, so now they have a vehicle. So these guys are not good against vehicles. I'm just going to run, right? But he can't kill both of them. Okay, so now I've got this. Yeah, one thing, you have to really make sure that you're clicking off of units because you'll accidentally be moving them around and you don't want to do that. Okay, so now what we're going to do is just this. Good night. Is it cheap? Yes. Do I care? No. Okay, so now I'm in a little bit of trouble here. I've really got to kill this thing. Ah, crap. This may not go my way. Let's see how much damage they can do. Not enough. Okay. So basically at this point I just have to get numbers. Because my guys are going fast. I think I'm going to lose this one. Because my anti-vehicles are dying to the vehicles. Yep, I lost. Okay, so my problem there was that I didn't have like an anti-vehicle. The Sentinels are really good against vehicles, but they're weak to the Wolverines. And so I've been experimenting with the jump jet troopers. I don't know if, see, they didn't feel like they were worth it. Like they're good early game, but yeah, they're not pulling their weight. So I'm going to go back to this guy, who's kind of expensive, but he's really good. Now you'll notice I'm not using any of the War Factory or Helipad units. The reason for that is, you know, you have to, it's about time, and I'll talk about it more later. But I've decided to only use units from 2 buildings. I would just use units from 1 building if I thought I could get away with it, but, and it may be possible, but I'm not going to go into that as much right now. So let's do one more just test match here. And so again, my problem last game was that I had an anti-vehicle device, but because it was infantry based, it couldn't take just a steady onslaught of anti-vehicle. So that one I actually lost in the pick phase. Like, I didn't have a good enough counter to his strategy, and that cost me the game. Okay, what did he make? It looks like it was drones. Okay, so what he's going to do is try and harass my Tiberium gatherer. And I'm not real friendly on that, so we'll just shoot his guys. And what I like is he's standing in a Tiberium field, so that's not going to work for him. And I don't want to be in a shooting match right now, so what I'm going to do is position my disruptor guys so if he comes at either side. Okay. You'll notice his disruptor's infantry is only at level 5, mine's at 8, so I have an inherent I have an advantage, like a big advantage. So now I'm going to force his hand. I really don't like going after the Tiberium truck. It's kind of cheap, but frankly, like, he's forced to try to defend it, which means I can kill his infantry faster. See, he's trying to defend it, and he can't. Now it's time for the cheapness. There's no actual need for me to do that, but I want to because it makes me laugh, and so I'm going to. And so what you also want to do is you want a 2 versus 1 situation, right? You always want a situation where you have 2 squads attacking his 1. Okay, so the reason I won that one wasn't so much because of the units that I picked, but it's because my units were upgraded more, right? So you could say that was like a pay-to-win victory, even though I really am not spending much money on this game. But that shows the importance of upgrades. You really need to get your units, like the ones you're going to use. Honestly, I hope you watch my videos and decide what units you're going to use without... I mean, it's good to test yourself, but the most efficient thing to do is look at the different units that I have and say, okay, these are the ones that are going to work for me. And just upgrade those units. Focus all your credits, all your everything, just on upgrading the units you need. And that'll let you progress faster, right? And the reason I'm emphasizing speed and progression is because it's more efficient, right? Like, the higher ranked you get, the better your rewards are for victories and stuff. And, you know, the higher you get your player level, you actually get level rewards. See, like, the faster you level, the more blueprints and stuff you get, which means that you can make stronger armies, which means you can get closer to in-game PvP that much faster. And so I would encourage you to do that. But anyway, that was just a quick Command and Conquer video. To sum it up again, it's important to have units that, both a set of inexpensive and expensive units, and each set of units needs to be able to take vehicle, infantry, and air. You need to have all your slots covered, and that way you can't just get swarmed by someone who has the advantage based on units. And just like Summoner's War, that is the way, you know, you can lose in the pick and ban phase, and I don't want that to happen to you. So please put any comments you have in the comment section below. Please like the video and subscribe if you want to see more. And until next time, this is Keen Games Mobile.